Good afternoon and welcome to Durfee's Mac Aldridge Field for the home opener for boys varsity soccer as the Hilltoppers take on Big Three rival, the Brockton Boxers. It's a rematch from the playoffs last year. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Thanks for tuning in to Fred TV for high school sports coverage. This is our second game of the new year, and it's our first game for soccer, and we're really looking forward to it. Nothing better than a rivalry to begin the soccer year. Rick Robbins at the helm of the Boxers again, the head coach, and he tells me that they are 2-0, but they're still working things out. It's early in the season. They have a lot of seniors, some new to the program, so that's going to be a learning curve for the Boxers, but they'll be relying on the other teammates to kind of work with the newer players and gel as a team. For the home team, Hilltoppers, they're 0-1 on the young season. They lost to Dartmouth 1 week ago, so they've had a whole week off, but they do have some injuries, and they have a player who was red-carded, so some of the bench players are going to have to fill in and work hard with the team to make it happen today if they are to grab their first W. So we have all the action for you right here on Fred TV. Don't change that channel. We'll be back right after this. For the Boxers, it is Michael Cruz in goal, the 0-0. Number 1, Cristiano Martins. Number 2, Ardley DeCanto. Number 3, Irivaldo Delgado. Number 6, Adelson Pyers. Number 9, Camden Frederick. Number 10, John Santos. Followed by number 14, Bruno Martins. Number 17, Elvis Mendez. Number 19, Maldini Fonseca. Number 27, Rilton Carvalho. For the home team, Hilltoppers, number 1 in goal, Richard Malave. Number 2, Gabriel Oliveira. Number 7, Yorick Sajbin. Number 8, Junior Perez. Number 9, Ibrahim Naata. Number 11, Jeremy Rebello. 13, Jarrell Davidson. Followed by number 18, William Sobrero. Number 20, Connor Addison. Captain number 24, Leandro Oliveira. And number 25, Pedro Costa. The Boxers are coached by Rick Robbins. The Hilltoppers by Tiberio Mello. And it will be Durfee who will start off with possession of the ball. We play 40-minute halves here in high school sports. Not too much shorter than the pros do it, so they certainly get their minutes in here in high school. One of the things that Coach Mello talked about was having limited bench and a scoring opportunity right out of the chute. The Boxers have taken a 1-0 lead 15 seconds in. Captain John Santos with the goal. How about that? My, oh my, that's a confidence booster for the Boxers if there ever was one. 15 seconds in, 1-0 visitors on the John Santos goal. I was just about to say that Coach Mello talked about the Hilltoppers having a limited bench, 6 players injured, 1 player serving a red card. So a lot of players having to step up this afternoon. Now, a lot of these players are familiar names. They were on the team last year. But if they're not your regular starters, it can make it uncomfortable to start the game because the regulars may not be out there. So definitely something to watch. We'll see how the Hilltoppers bounce back from one of the quickest goals that we've seen in soccer over the last few years. Not something you normally see that quickly out of the gate. The Boxers with the ball on the far side. That's number 17 with it now. Elvis Mendez, as he plays it right at the line, goes off of one of his opponents, one of the Hilltoppers players. That there is number 10. Connor Riley into the game. It'll be a goal kick for the Hilltoppers. Malave will send it out. Right at about midfield. Boxers play it off the heads. And a whistle was blown, so a foul there. It'll be a free kick for Durfee. They'll reset. And they send it to the near side here. That's number 18 with it, William Sobrero. Right off of number 19 of the defense, Maldini Fonseca. That goes out of play onto the track. Thought it might have been a handball, actually, because Pedro Costa really gave it a boot and went right off of Fonseca. Nonetheless, play continued. Now the Boxers will throw it in after the Hilltoppers sent it out. Good, strong throw in right towards Costa. He butts it up the field, and there's Ibrahim Naata. He gets a check by number 3, Erivaldo Delgado. Sent upfield. Opportunity for Wilton Carvalho, but he's called offsides. It's pretty clear. And that is played up by William Sobrero. Gets it to Naata. To the middle there, that's number 8, Perez. Junior Perez gives way to his teammate there, Gabriel Oliveira. He'll try to redirect Connor Riley in on it. There's Ibrahim Naata now. He scored one of the playoff goals last year in the game right here at Mac Aldridge Field against Brockton, a game that Durfee won 3-1. Pedro Costa will throw it in. Good, strong throw in, almost as good as a corner kick. And Brockton shoots it out. That was number 11, I believe. Tough to see the numbers. Actually, that might have been Bruno, number 17, Elvis Mendez, who would hit it out of play. Nice defense. Good attempt there. That was Sobrero, I believe, who took a shot. It was. And on the throw-in, it was actually Bruno Martins defending at the net prior to that attempt there from Sobrero. And now the Boxers will kick it back upfield. Naata plays it off the head to Connor Riley. It gets away. And Riley deadens the ball, hits it out of play, and the Boxers will have to reset. Everybody resets on the throw-in. Thrown down the field, now trying to redirect it inward. Durfee D trying to clear it out. No whistles. Had a player go down in the back there. That was number 27, Wilton Carvalho. And I believe he was caught offsides again. They'll play it up to Sobrero. Connor Addison. And it is hit out by Martins. So Pedro Costa will throw it in. Good high throw in. Kind of lobbed it there. Play continues. Thought I heard a whistle, but play continues. A major trip. No whistles blown. My goodness. Wow. And now Brockton on a break here. It's going to go out of play towards the corner. I thought for sure we'd hear a whistle there, but it was not to be. I think it was Naata that went down. So the players will set around the goal as the Boxers will have the first corner kick of the game. And they'll look to add to their 1-0 lead. Coming up on 8 minutes into the game. It's a low line drive kick, and it's going to bounce out. And it's cleared nicely by Jarrell Davidson. And it goes quickly out of play. Brockton will throw it back in. Good booming kick from Martins, and it's going to go wide to the right. Malave will send it out. Nice soft kick. Control. Didn't send it out to midfield. Connor Riley tried to get a foot on it and keep it in bounds. He could not. It went out. So Brockton with the ball again. Durfee has not seen much time on the Brockton side of the field. It's been more of a Brockton game here. The Boxers have controlled the ball a little bit more, but Durfee will get the throw in. It'll be Costa. Another big throw in. He's got a good throw in there. He's able to get good distance, good height on the ball. Gives his teammates some options. He can play it off the head. They can wait for it to bounce. And Brockton, though, quickly onto it, the defense. That was Sajbin who sent it upfield. Naata with it now has Sobrero to his right. He's going to keep it. He's going to try to get through two defenders, and he does. Giving up on it was Mendez, and that's hit into the net for the score. Out of nowhere. How about that? That was Gabriel Oliveira with the equalizer 10 minutes into the game. We're tied at 1. That's about as perfectly placed as it gets when you're trying to get one over the goalie into the top of the net. The Brockton goaltender, not the tallest. Michael Cruz, 0-0. He's not very tall. And they floated it right over his head. 1-1 as we come up on the 30-minute marker. Malave will now send it upfield after it went out of play. It's Sajbin who corralled it. Now Brockton once again moving up the field. Malave comes out, plays it on a hop, had pressure coming. He'll roll it out to, it was toward Pedro Costa. I believe it was Sajbin again who actually played it. Nope, that was 24. That's Leandro Oliveira who played it. Nice contingency of fans. I'll tell you one thing, we don't get the biggest crowds for soccer. Usually football gets the biggest crowd, but the soccer fans that come are about as passionate as they come. Always involved and very aware of everything that's going on for every passing second of the game. Soccer is a big sport here in New England, especially particularly southern New England. Mendez was cheating once again. Pardon me, it was Carvalho, number 27 of the defense, was cheating again, and he could have been called for an offsides had the ball gone further. Nonetheless, we're back up into Brockton territory, and Pedro Costa will throw it in. And it's hit out of the way, and now back in, though. That was Jarrell Davidson. Now head up the field with Leandro Oliveira duking it out. And I believe a whistle was blown there. A little handshake, no worse for wear. Durfee ball, they'll have the free kick right at the line, right at the boundaries. Low liner right up the sidelines to Connor Riley. And Durfee gives it up, but not for long there. Sajbin redirected it. Now back to this side of the field to Sobrero. He'll take it up. He has Naata at center, right in the middle of the field, and Naata can't do anything with it. Ran into Martins. Pedro Costa sends it the far side now. And a trip there. Feet came out from under him. I believe that was Camden Frederick. And a whistle is blown. Nope, play continues. Sobrero redirects it. Nice pass there. Connor Addison now in the corner, and Durfee will throw it in. On the Brockton sidelines, we have Danielson Gomes waiting to check in. Meanwhile, Pedro Costa will throw it in from almost from the corner. Ball bouncing off of a number of heads before finally settling. Durfee trying to keep possession here, though. And that time a whistle is blown. It'll be a free kick and a turnover. Brockton will have it. It was not intentional, but sometimes, you know, players' feet and their legs get intertwined, and that's just part of the game. One player goes down. It's not an intentional foul there, but hit up the field. Good bounce off the head. Malave will have to play it. He comes out. And he rolls it over to Oliveira, the captain, who sends it up. Nice. How about that for Martins? He detoned that ball right into the turf. Back up the field to Malave. He'll play it again. Haven't seen too much play to the outsides, which is actually kind of surprising. A lot of the play's been in the middle of the field. But now Pedro Costa trying to work the sidelines, but sends it right back up the middle again. There hasn't been too much penetration, really, from either side other than that opening score 15 seconds in. Haven't seen really a great break yet in the game. Good defense. Naata right there. That's a nice pass from Rilton Carvalho. He tried to find his teammate there, Maldini Fonseca, but it went wide. That was a good pass. He went right behind his legs. It'll be Delgado throwing it in. And Carvalho took a seat, which means that number 7 has come in now. That's Danielson Gomes. So that's our first substitution there for the Boxers. And Naata sends it out. They'll throw it back in and do it again. Good throw in there. And a turn there from Fonseca. He sends it towards the net. Look at the defense there from the Hilltoppers, and it's a handball that detons it. That was Gabriel Oliveira playing goaltender there, doing it all. He's just a sophomore, and he just preserved this tie game. Huge play right there. That's hit out of play. Almost at the halfway mark here in the first half. Nice kick up the field there. No offsides. I believe that was Naata with the boot. Trying to clear it out of the Hilltoppers' territory. The Boxers will throw it right back in that direction. And the referee having to skip her out of the way. That's a great throw up the field. Boxers have some help. And Oliveira, Leandro Oliveira that is, clears it out. Mendez and Gabriel Oliveira tied up there in the corner. Went out off of Mendez, so Oliveira will throw it in right up the field, and I believe the wind might have blown it out. It never got a chance to land in bounds, so Brockton ball. Everybody around that net, and that is through the uprights, but that goal doesn't count. This isn't football. Or should I say this isn't American football. This is soccer.
Hey, Durfee, let's be smart, Durfee.
And that one over the net. Malave will kick it in. Nice high kick, a lot of backspin. That floats the ball very well. Get some good distance out of it. And it looks like we had a free kick. We had a whistle blown. Free kick for Durfee. They'll keep it close by. A little pass to Costa, who sends it up the field. That's going to go out. Wide to the right. And it'll be Brockton ball. All the way up the field it goes. Gomes with it. Passes across the field. And no whistles there. Trying to buy a whistle with the Hilltoppers. Not happening there. Quick throw in from Rivaldo Delgado there. It had just gone out of bounds. Greg Sullivan of the Herald News with the assist right there. Keeping play going. And now Pedro Costa will throw in for Durfee. I have to say, very different seeing Durfee in red and white. Normally, or in past years, they had the black jerseys at home. Durfee wearing, though, the red and white jerseys at home now. Brockton in the black. Play halted here at about midfield. Trying to clear it out is number 8, Junior Perez. He can't. Gets it to Pedro Costa. It's out off of Brockton's number 17. That's Mendez. Or sure looked like it was, but it's going to be Brockton ball. So throwing it in there was Delgado. Brockton looking to move up the field. Number 19 is on his horse. That's Fonseca, and it is cleared out as we have passed the 20-minute mark. So we're halfway through the first half if you're just joining us. This is the opening day game for the boys soccer, the home opener, I should say, for the Hilltoppers. They played Dartmouth on the road last week. They're 0-1. At the moment, tied with Brockton. Brockton with the corner kick here, hoping to break that tie. Sent towards the net and cleared nicely by the Hilltoppers. Brockton scored 15 seconds into this game. It's about as early as you can score, I would suppose. And then Durfee was able to score about 10 minutes after that. Coming out is Malave. Nice clear, but a risky move. His teammates were back, though. We saw a great play by Gabriel Oliveira to save a goal. A 2-on-1 situation here, and a nice clear by Brockton's number number 1. That's Cristiano Martins. Durfee heading upwards towards the net. It gets by the goalie. They'll have to redirect it. And it should be a corner kick for Durfee. Boy, they had Michael Cruz scampering there, went just over his head. Durfee will go on the corner kick from the far right side of the field. But they had an open net. It was Gabriel Oliveira with the equalizer for Durfee. And a whistle blown. It's going to be a free kick for Durfee. The fans didn't like that. And that's going to go out of bounds. It'll be Durfee ball. It'll be a goal kick. Numbers 14 and 17 checking in for Durfee. Justin Moniz coming in. And you'll have to forgive me. We don't have a 17 on our roster here. Taylor Gonzalez, number 19, checking in. Pedro Costa out. Ibrahim Naata out of the game. So they'll take a seat. Went out of bounds off Brockton. Durfee will throw it in. And it looks like Connor Riley trying to get to it. It went out off of Brockton again. So now right about midfield, the Hilltoppers will throw it in again. Oh, my bad. It's been called Brockton ball. So the Boxers will throw it in now. Short throw in. Durfee trying to clear it. Cannot. Now they send it midfield. Mendez had it, sent it back to Delgado, and now back towards the defenders to kind of reset here. Back to Mendez it goes. Pressure coming from Sobrero. Nice pass there right through Durfee's defense, and it's a shot on net. Saved by Malave. Had to go to the dive. Brockton cannot pull ahead. We are still tied at 1. 15 minutes to play. Of course, we always have to account for some extra time. So 15 minutes plus a little extra before halftime. There's a push and there's a whistle. Leandro Oliveira got pushed. The officials saw it. Free kick for Durfee. Luvi DePina on the sidelines, number 22 for Brockton, getting ready to check in at the next opportunity. Ibrahim Naata also at the sidelines now ready to check back in. He was one of the Hilltoppers starters. Took a quick 3-minute break, grabbed some water, and now he's rearing and ready to go again. Also coming in for Brockton, number 12, Kevin Correa, getting his first action of the game. Number 6 coming out of the game, that's Adelson Pyers for Brockton. Naata replaces Connor Addison, number 20. And the other player coming out for Brockton is number 2. That's Ardley DeCanto. So some changes late in the half here for Brockton. Durfee, for the most part, standing pat. And that is Oliveira with it. He tried to get it to his teammate there, Gabriel Oliveira. Could not. Another whistle is called, and this should be another free kick for the Hilltoppers. And indeed it will be. Nice booming kick across midfield into Brockton's side of the field. Ibrahim Naata fighting through. He'll send it up the field. And nice job there by Brockton to redirect, and it appears a trip is going to be called there on Taylor Gonzalez. Actually, no trip, but it went out of bounds off of him. So Brockton will have the free kick. So yes, the whistle was blown on the foul there. My bad. So no throw in. They get the free kick right at the spot of the foul. DePina with the ball, trying to get by, and it's taken away from him by Gonzalez. Getting a little redemption, and Naata goes tumbling down, and he's grabbing his calf, and that is not a good thing. The last thing the Hilltoppers need is another injury, particularly to one of their better players. Naata is a very impressive player. He also plays boys volleyball. He is up, but with a limp. And nice to see the Brockton players helping him off the field. That's about as classy as it gets right there. Again, nothing intentional there. They went tumbling down, got tied up, but great sportsmanship there from Fonseca. So Naata walks off gingerly, ends up walking off under his own power. Durfee will have a free kick, and our trainer Kelly will take a look at Naata, see what kind of injury he may have. Might have just gotten spiked, it's possible. Leandro Oliveira will have a free kick. That's really our first injury timeout on the field. We haven't had many stoppages. Play resumes. Hit right on net. Corralled easily by Michael Cruz as he scoops it with his two arms. And he'll get ready to, actually going to roll it. Looked like he was winding up to send it into the sky, but he just rolls it out and relies on his teammate to send it down the field. That's out of play. Durfee ball. Another whistle there. Actually, there's field hockey going on the practice field, and I think that's some of the whistles that I'm hearing because play is continuing here for the soccer. The boys' soccer game here, but field hockey happening behind us, and another collision. No whistles this time, and Brockton heading up the field in a hurry. Great pass there, but stopped by the Hilltoppers. Nice defense there. It'll stay in. And Connor Riley will try to redirect it. He cannot. Going to the ground is number 22. That's DePina. Good defense, though, in the middle of the field for the Hilltoppers. Off the head there of Delgado. And now his teammate, John Santos, had it, but Hilltoppers quickly moving up the field. They have numbers. A great pass up the field, but it is corralled by Michael Cruz. See a little more aggression by both teams here. Game started a little slow. The early goal for Brockton took the wind out of the Hilltoppers, and then the Hilltoppers evened it up. And since then, this has really been an entertaining last 20 minutes of game time as we're just a few ticks away from the 10-minute mark here in the first half. That one kept in. 17 there with the grab. Mendez stuck his foot out and corralled that. Durfee having trouble clearing it, but Sajbin is able to get it to the other side of the field, gets it to his teammate Connor Addison, who's back in. And they're playing on that far side. A lot of action on the far side of the field today. And he goes down. Addison looks like he's hurt. Still no whistle. Not sure what we're waiting for. And now they'll call for the trainer for Addison. He gets up under his own power. A little bit of help from his teammate there. But he also with a noticeable limp. See him keeled over. He went down hard. He actually might have had the wind knocked out of him. That's not too uncommon. It might have been an issue with his cleat and his foot there. Now he's tended to by one of the Brockton boxers, making sure he's okay. Again, nice to see the good sportsmanship here from both sides. Naata has come back into the game. Addison is out for the time being on that far side. And it looks like he's going to make his way all the way around back to the bench. Brockton continues to move the ball down. Haven't seen any timeouts yet from either side. This has been a relatively fast first half. 7.5 to play, plus a little extra. The Boxers hoping to grab a lead before the break. Durfee clears it out. That was right to Junior Perez. All the way up the field, but the Boxers get it to DePina. And another whistle is blown. The Boxers will have a free kick here. It will be number 3, Rivaldo Delgado. At least it appears that way. And we had an injury on the far side of the field again. Naata being helped off for the second time, so perhaps his injury a little worse than he expected. He returned rather quick, and now he'll be taking a seat. See the trainer there, our trainer Kelly, with him. And my guess is with a little over 6 minutes to play in the first half that Ibrahim Naata will take a seat for the remainder of this first half. Connor Addison has just made it back to the bench after having to walk around the other side of the field. So two more Hilltoppers. A little bit banged up here after the first half. Again, early injuries. They have 6 right now, 6 players out. One of the injuries being a torn ACL, so that's a season-ending injury right there. Not a good thing. Anthony Ferreira, a senior, getting ready to check into the game. Hilltoppers trying to move the ball, but very quickly taken away by the Hilltoppers. It was Gomes doing the dirty work there. Nice pass off the head to Mendez. And 2 more players go down. That'll draw a whistle. And it should be a free kick for Durfee. Didn't waste any time. Malave coming out. The ball is free. Hilltoppers were able to get there fast enough, and that draws a whistle now. Mendez not happy. Didn't like the call. Thought it was not intentional. But great job by the Durfee D there. Malave was out of his net. And the rest of the Hilltoppers were able to stuff that attempt. That's sent up the field. Another whistle. That was headed towards Fonseca. Now Mendez with it. That's number 9. Frederick. Camden Frederick. And Brockton will get the corner kick opportunity here. 3.5 minutes to play in the half. Big spot here for Durfee. Gives a signal, and he's ready. The kick is on its way, and it is caught in the air by a leaping Richard Malave. He preserves the 1-1 tie and sends it down to midfield. The Boxers with it. Working hard to keep it. The Brockton offense has been a little bit more aggressive throughout this game. They've had more time with the soccer ball, it seems. And there's certainly been more time down here in Durfee territory than it has been on the right side of the screen, the right side of the field in Brockton territory. So the Boxers have really controlled the pace of this game a bit more than Durfee has. And I'm sure that's something that Coach Tiberio Mello has picked up on as well. It's been a good first half, don't get me wrong. But I'm sure that Coach Mello can pick that up as well, and will probably be relaying that message to his players at the half. And it'll be a goal kick inside the box. Line drive kick there. Off the head of Gomes. Almost a handball there. Fighting through the traffic. And a nice pass up ahead, but Malave into the dive. And he was able to scoop it. Not sure he had to go into the dive, but Camden Frederick was getting through traffic pretty quickly, and he had the pass set up nicely for his teammate. And Brockton again, right off of the transition, storming right into territory, and it's just wide. That was a hold your breath moment for the Durfee fans, let me tell you, because Malave was not getting to that one. But he went just wide of the net to the left. Leandro Oliveira will kick it out. We're under 2 minutes here in this first half. Oh, a tough kick right off the toes, but a nice job there by number 17 to keep it in play. Nick Costa made some adjustments there, got it to his teammate. Now Brockton sends it back up the field. That was Sajbin who had sent it towards Brockton's end. Nice move by number 19, Maldini Fonseca. Malave again with the stop. He's been working hard over the last few minutes. Been very busy. Another corner kick for Brockton. This is their second in the last 5 minutes. This is a high kick going past the goal, and it's out of play. And the official signaling that it is Durfee ball. This game in real time is an hour old. The Durfee bell tower sounding, letting us know that we've been here and rolling for an hour. Actually, the game ended up starting. It was a 4 o'clock start for this game here. It started about 4:15, so we were in a little bit of extra time here. The 40-minute clock has expired. So very soon we're going to have the whistle blown on the half. Not before Brockton is going to get a free kick from at about the 20-yard line. So this could be a game changer right here. This is just as good as a corner kick. Durfee will try to create a wall. And it's into the net. The Boxers take the lead right at the end of the half. That was number 9, Frederick on it, getting the score. Brockton with the 2-1 lead. That was a beautiful kick. Placed it perfectly, went right around the defense. Malave couldn't get there, right in the corner. So the Hilltoppers will play from behind once again. And as I said, it won't be long before they take a break for halftime. Just a few seconds away, I'm sure. We've been extra time now for about 4 minutes. Sent up the field. Played nicely there. That was number 1. Cristiano Martins. Durfee trying to continue to move that ball. They keep running into a sea of Boxers. And that's sent all the way back. Malave is going to corral it. Bruno Martins will take it from out of bounds and throw it in after it went out. And looks like it's going to be Durfee ball now. It is. That is hit on net. Michael Cruz is there, though. Not hard enough. Little floater. But that's the right idea. Sooner or later, they're going to go in. So you got to keep taking shots on net. It's just like in hockey. It's the same deal. You can't score a goal if you don't take shots on net. And that's going to do it here in the first half. So the Boxers able to take the lead here right at the end of the half, and that was after they scored right to open the game, 15 seconds in. It's just not something that you normally see. Durfee took the tied it up, 10 minutes into the game, and now Brockton pulled ahead with, in extra time actually, the first half, just a few seconds before halftime. So it's 2-1 Brockton here on Fred TV. Stay with us for the second half coming up right after this. All right, second half is underway. A quick halftime break. If you're just joining us here on Fred TV Channel 9, this is the Durfee boys soccer home opener. The Hilltoppers are facing off against Big 3 rival Brockton, who holds a 2-1 lead. Really interesting scoring in that first half if you're just joining us. The Boxers scored 15 seconds into the game. Then Durfee scored 10 minutes after that, around the 30-minute mark, and it stayed tied until extra time, where the Boxers pulled ahead with about literally no more than 60 seconds in that first half. So not the end to that first half that the Hilltoppers wanted, but they played from behind earlier. They'll have to do it here if they want to avoid their second loss of the season. Durfee coming in 0-1, haven't played in a week. They played Dartmouth on opening day at Dartmouth, whereas Brockton is coming in 2-0, so they're riding a 2-game winning streak early on and looking for a little revenge. The Boxers lost here last year in round 1 of the playoffs, Durfee beating them. It was a night game, really exciting game actually for Durfee. They were considered the underdogs in that one, and they were able to pull it out. So Brockton out for some revenge, and right now they hold the 1-goal lead, 2-1 the score. Again, we play 40-minute halves. And at the half, the teams switch sides. So Durfee now trying to score right to left. Brockton trying to score left to right. So we've changed it up. And Brockton with a corner kick here, less than 2 minutes into the game, or into the second half, I should say. That's a low line drive kick, and it's hit right back. Another kick. They'll get a second look at it. And it goes out of play. Little collision there at midfield. Goes out of play. Brockton ball. They will throw it in. That's going to go out of play as well. So while we have the stoppage in play and we begin the second half, I want to remind folks that we will be doing all kinds of different sporting events throughout the school year. We had opening night football last Friday, and that game actually between Durfee and Somerset is currently airing on our station, Channel 9, Fred TV. And actually at halftime during that game, you can find we have highlights from Diamond Regional's opening game against Mystic. So we did double duty last weekend with 2 opening night games for Friday Night Lights. And so be sure to log on to fredtv.us for our air times, our listings, and find out when that game is going to be showed on our station. This week, Durfee's football team is also home again, 5 o'clock start against Taunton. Bishop Conley Cougars are also home. They have their first home game. They won over the weekend 41-14. Quite the blowout for the Hilltoppers. Pardon me, for the Cougars. We're watching the Hilltoppers here. So it was quite the blowout for Bishop Conley for the Cougars. So they're 1-0. Diamond and Durfee, well, can't tell you those results. You'll have to watch the game. So tune into Channel 9. That goes out of play as well. And also, folks, remember, you can get a DVD copy of any of these games that we do in full this year. We also have quite a few, we also have quite the extensive library of games that we've done in full over the last, over the past few years, 5 to 10 years. So more recently, we have more over the last 5. And so if there are any games that you're interested in purchasing for $10, you can get a DVD of that broadcast. And just give us a call. We will check our library and see if we have that game in full. We'll be having more, obviously, as we said, throughout the school year. We're trying to do as many full games as we can this year. And as we expand our sports coverage here in Fall River on Fred TV. So any of these games that we do this year, if you're watching it now, you caught it halfway through, you want to see the whole thing, go on to fredtv.us to order a DVD for $10, and we'll ship it out as quick as we can. So once again, Brockton really controlling play. Offensively, they have really been very good in holding the ball and keeping play on Durfee's side of the field, forcing the Hilltoppers to play defense. There has not been a lot of time spent in Brockton's end of the field. As soon as the Hilltoppers penetrate, Brockton clears it right out. And there is a great example of it right there. Hilltoppers can't make too much forward progress. There's a wall of boxers there, and that's going to be Denilson Gomes sending it towards midfield. Connor Riley takes it to the face, tries to get it turned around. He cannot, and it's headed right up the field. Leandro Oliveira with it, and oh boy, looks like Malave is injured. Coach Mello told me before the game that the backup goalie is currently injured. That's Nick Oliveira, and he's a sophomore. So if Malave's injured, that is going to be detrimental to Durfee. He came out to try to make the play on it, gave himself up, and Oliveira and Frederick got involved and kind of tumbled over him. Not a good thing. And Malave is up. Stretching it out, seeing if he's okay, taking a moment. He might have had the wind knocked out of him as well. He'll head back in. He's also wiping his face. Maybe he took a foot or a knee to the face. That's not too pleasant either. The official making sure he's okay. Durfee will have a free kick. Naata has not returned to the game. He left with an injury, tried to come back and was unsuccessful. He left the field of play once again at the end of that first half. So he has not returned. However, good news is that Connor Addison has returned, number 20. And it's redirected again by the Boxers as they very quickly transition, send it back up the field. That's hit towards center. Junior Perez, and now Connor Riley is on a bit of a break. He'll take a shot, and it's going to be high through the uprights. That's the second one through the football goalpost, but here in American soccer, that's just, can I say, wide and over the net. Doesn't do anything. It's worth nothing. But again, good to see Durfee taking a shot on net. We haven't seen many of those opportunities for Durfee. Substitution for the Boxers. Number 16 coming into the game. That's Jorge Andrade. His teammate Denilson Gomes coming out. What a redirect right there. The big hook kick right there. But now Durfee with it, trying to move it back up the field again. That's going to go out of bounds. Brockton ball. Joseph Cruz, number 8, getting it to his teammate there, Kevin Correa, who's also into the game. So Coach Robbins going with a little bit of a different look here. Some of the bench players getting into the game now. Some of the starters not involved at the moment, as that trip going to result in a free kick, and it'll be Bruno Martins sending it up the field. 10 minutes are gone here in the second half, 30 to play. Taking his time, and he fakes it out. They go with the short game to Andrade. Back to Martins, who storms right through the D, and he's going to kick. He goes off the uprights and out of bounds. So Martins tried to make something happen, and he went right through the defense, but then kicked it out of play. Couldn't turn it. Couldn't get the ball to turn in. And it'll be Malave who sends it out. Nice kick by the Durfee goalie. That goes out of play. We'll have a little entertainment now, too. You may hear in the background some music. The Durfee Marching Band has begun its outdoor rehearsal. We'll take advantage of that. Had a great halftime show in that opening night game. Always do. And I heard a whistle, so maybe another free kick. Here in the second half, continued to have a great evening. Not a cloud in the sky. We're still above 80 degrees, 81 to be exact. Martins sends it up the field. Played nicely by Pedro Costa. Sent back, and that's an offside. Well, this is just a great night for sports. Here in Fall River, dry conditions, a slight breeze, not a cloud in the sky. And we're still in the 80s here as we head into mid-September. You can't ask for much more than that. Leandro Oliveira had to redirect. That's up the field. That's going to go out of play. Connor Addison was the only one in the vicinity, and he was not going to get there. Loosening up on the Brockton sideline is Rilton Carvalho, who was one of the starters in this game. Also now joining him is teammate Eric Rodricks, who has not seen any playing time in the game. May see him before game's end. We'll see what happens. That's going to bounce right out of play, and it will be Durfee ball. Actually, it is Brockton ball, and they throw it up quickly right past Gabriel Oliveira. And now a whistle called on that. Oliveira goes over to his opponent, helps him up. It's going to be a free kick for Brockton. That's quite a few free kicks here in the last 5 to 10 minutes of game time. It will be Cristiano Martins, number 1, with the kick. Little soft floater. Kind of hooked it a bit, had some curve to it. That's out of play. That's Durfee ball. Quick transition there. Sent down the field. Connor Addison duking it out with Kevin Correa. It's going to go out of play. Still no call as to whose ball it is. I think it's Durfee ball. It is, and we're going to have a corner kick for the Hilltoppers. Looks like it's going to be William Sobrero doing the honors. Durfee needing a goal to tie it up. We're at 2-1 Brockton here. 25 minutes to play in the game. And he floats it towards the net. That's going to go right past, and it will be Martins who sends it up the field to his teammate. That's number 9, Camden Frederick. Already has 1 goal on the afternoon. And that's an assist for him. He got it to his teammate. I believe that's number 14 there, Bruno Martins. And just that quickly. You see how the tides can turn in soccer. Durfee with the corner kick, no good. Quick transition up the field. Bang, bang, play. Frederick to Martins, 3-1 Brockton with just over 24 minutes to play. That's a killer right there. And 2 substitutions, as we mentioned, they were on the sidelines. Rilton Carvalho, number 27, and Erickson Rodricks, number 25, into the game. Coming out in what looks to be, for the rest of the afternoon, number 19, Maldini Fonseca, and number 1, Cristiano Martins, as they shake the hands of their teammates on the bench. Grab the water bottles and take a seat. So it looks like their day is done. Brockton with the 2-goal lead, almost halfway through this second half, and normally that's enough. And we'll see what happens. Durfee got to go to work. They don't have too much time. The clock is not on their side. And it's important to note as well that Naata has not returned to this game, and now with the score 3-1, doesn't seem like he will. So I hope that this injury for him is not going to be one that'll sideline him much, maybe just for the end of today. Hopefully he'll be back for the Hilltoppers' next game, but for the time being, it doesn't look like he's going to be returning. He's still on the bench. So not a good thing for Coach Mello as the Hilltoppers continue to battle the injury bug here in the early goings of 2015. Gonna have a goal kick here. That one went on a play, and it's gonna be Martins who sends it up. Bruno Martins, who just had that goal, scored that 3rd goal for Brockton 2 minutes ago. Line drive up the field, right to his teammate Rodricks. And that goes out, continues to be Brockton ball. You know, in talking with both coaches, actually, both teams are, you know, they're working here early in the season. The beginning of the season is always tough. And both teams are trying to find that chemistry and gel. You know, they haven't played together for basically 10 months. Coach Mello said he was happy with the off-season preparations, and his players stayed in shape. They were ready to go, but now with these injuries, you know, things change. You have to have other players starting, so it's a work in progress early on for both sides. Brockton, of course, with the 2-0 record, so they've had a little more success, obviously, with grabbing the wins. Durfee with just the 1 game, 0-1. They're lucky they had that week of rest. That'll bode well for them considering the injuries. It's been a week since their last game. But 9 returning starters. There are a lot of young players, so they'll have to work with them. But Coach always reminds them in these big games that they can't be intimidated. Just got to believe that they can win, believe they can get the job done, and you know, and then let the pieces fall. So I thought Durfee did a good job to tie up that game, tie up this game earlier after allowing that goal 15 seconds in. But 2 unanswered goals for Brockton One at the end of the first half, and now here in the second half to make it 3-1 Boxers. I think once the Hilltoppers get their regulars back from injury, this team will look a lot different. They were very good a year ago. Again, they beat Brockton right here at Durfee in the playoffs last year. So, and that was after Brockton was, considered the favorite. So the Hilltoppers have a lot of potential. There are a lot of names on this roster that I recall from last year. So that goes back to Coach saying that there are a lot of returners, and that's always helpful to a coach and to a team. Players that know the game, know each other, and understand what the job is. So we've passed the halfway mark. We have 18 minutes or so. Again, we had a stoppage for the injury, so the clock rolls. That'll be extra time later on, the makeup time. So probably about 20 minutes left in this one, depending on any other halts in the action. A late whistle there, my gosh. It goes Durfee's way. Actually called on a check there. Contact when they were in the air. I thought it was going to be a handball on the Hilltoppers on Pedro Costa. Instead, it's a foul on Brockton. And the Hilltoppers get the free kick and send it down the field. Brockton lets it go, and they'll kick it out from their own goal. Number 21 for Brockton, that's Anderson Costa getting ready to check in. Also have number 11, Grace Dos Santos. He is stretching on the sidelines, and now joining him, number 5, Eddie Martins. I'm going to see some substitutions here late in the game. Coach Robbins going to rest his starters, as just coming out now with Joseph Cruz. And he was replaced by Anderson Costa. Good kick from the end zone, from the goal, right up the field. And Brockton back on offense just like that. It's really been the story. Despite it being a tied game for much of the first half, Brockton's late goals here in the game have put them ahead 3-1, but it had been a close game. It had been tied, but Brockton continues to control much of the pace here. Anytime he gets away from them, they're able to get it right back and keep the momentum on their side. So they have really controlled this game, and another whistle might have been an offsides. Grace Dos Santos waiting to check in now, number 11. Pedro Costa with the throw-in. And what a job there, Brockton. Once again, that's number 4, Correa. Hironildo Correa, pardon me. Went up the ladder to get Brockton that ball back. This Sajbin, he sends it. That's off of Brockton. That should be corner kick, or do we have a whistle in the back here? Well, it doesn't look like Brockton actually had touched that one. So it's Brockton ball. Now Eddie Martins joining his teammate there, Dos Santos, waiting to come in. 15 minutes or so to play. Malave gets it in the air. That was a feed from Oliveira. Brockton trying to send it right back up the field and having success with that. Jorge Andrade. And they have help. And, oh, Malave with a stop. One of his better saves of the day to keep it 3-1. And you got a Brockton player down as play continues. Not in the way of play. Now a injury timeout that has been down too long. Able to get up under his own power. That was Rilton Carvalho, who's back in. One of the starters. Play will resume. The Hilltoppers getting the free kick. And that injury adds about a minute to the time. Nice kick there from Oliveira. Right to his teammate. Plays it off the chest. Can't see his number yet. That was Connor Addison. Went down and grabbed his side near his knee. Might have gotten kicked. And it looks like Durfee's going to have a free kick once again. Hilltoppers try to cut it to 1 here. Again, time not on their side. It will be Junior Perez with the kick as the Boxers stack up and build a wall. The officials backing them up. They looked to be quite a bit too close. They line up with 4. Perez will have to try to get it by them. Michael Cruz ready in goal, coming his way, and it's just outside. Durfee continues to, oh, that's off the back of the net. That's no goal. It looks like a goal, but that actually went on top of the netting. So Durfee with a little bit of pressure, getting that opportunity for the free kick, but they can't scratch out a goal. It remains 3-1 Boxers. Correa will kick it out. Coming towards our side. Haven't seen much action on this near side all afternoon. Everything's been on the other side. Oh, big collision there. Going down hard was number 16, Jorge Andrade. He gets up fast, but he went down hard. That results in a free kick. It'll be Correa again. That's a good kick right into the middle of the field. It lands cleanly on the turf. That one heading back towards the bench. Out of play, Durfee ball, I believe. Nope, Brockton ball. Cavallo trying to make the turn. And finally does, but fantastic defense from the Hilltoppers. It's going to be a corner kick. But just a fantastic job by Durfee's defense right there. Relentless. From the shadows in the corner. No good on the corner kick. No whistle, another player down. And now the whistle is sounded. Durfee ball, they'll throw it in. We're under 10 on the scoreboard in terms of time to play, but again, we have some extra time to account for because of the injuries. Unless something drastic happens here, it sure looks like Brockton is going to improve to 3-0. And more importantly than even the overall record here, this being a Big 3 game, take an early 1-0 lead atop the league standings. Durfee with a great opportunity. The Boxers were kind of arguing the goalie, Michael Cruz, with his teammate. All kinds of confusion, so Durfee played the free kick, and they had an open net and still couldn't find the goal line, unfortunately. They had an opportunity right there. Now back to midfield. That's Oliveira with it. The Boxers move it forward, and it's a bit of a break. Malave. Oh, no good. Good defense. Malave was able to save it once. The Hilltoppers' defense comes through the second time. No goal there. Connor Riley trying to get there. He can't. Michael Cruz goes to the ground. Connor Addison hesitant, but he was heading for it. Again, Michael Cruz coming out to make the stop. From an analytical standpoint, you know, those are the kinds of things that as the season goes on, I think Durfee will get a little more confident as well. But, you know, you play until the ball is captured or goes out of play, and would have liked to see Addison maybe going at that one a little bit harder, but you know, they're also reading it a little differently, so that's just an analytical standpoint. Down on the field may look a little different, so Cruz will send it. Nice, big booming kick there across midfield to a couple of his teammates backing up on it. Costa redirected it. And now that's Carvalho who gets a feed, and he's going to try to hit to the corner. My bad, that was not Carvalho. That was number 15. Jason Sequeira. Some more substitutions for Brockton. Another player down for Durfee. That's Pedro Costa, and he comes up with a limp, his right leg. My goodness. Been a rough day for Durfee. They trail 3-1. One player has not returned due to injury. That's Ibrahim Naata. Now Pedro Costa coming out with a limp. Connor Addison had left the game, but he was able to return for the second half. He now is on the bench, and he'll probably finish the game there. The goalie, Richard Malave, also got injured, but he stayed in. The backup goalie is out on injury right now, so it's been a rough afternoon for Durfee, to say the least. A little over 5 minutes or so to play. And you know, at this point in the game, if Durfee's able to score a goal, that's one of those confidence boosters that you might have lost the game, but you know, you're able to scratch your way to grabbing another goal before it ended. Those are the kinds of things that can kind of help a team heading into their next game. You get shut out in the second half, it makes it feel a little bit worse. You grab one before the end of the game and say, well, you know, we tried, we got it close, got it to 1, came up a little bit short. And then you look back at that goal that happened 15 seconds into the game, and you say it could easily be tied at 2. Right now it's 3-1. The thing that I notice here that's been lacking a bit for the Hilltoppers is some of that offensive pressure, that aggressiveness. The Boxers have really had it all day. Where the ball is, they go. And it's been a little bit lesser for Durfee this afternoon. Malave comes out to get that one. That one hit in the air at midfield. Boxers have also done that very well today. A lot of passes off the head. Up into the corner goes Carvalho. Tries to turn it. Stops it. Redirects. Nice job there. Sends it towards the net, and it is blocked by one of the Hilltoppers, who now clears it out of play. Our athletic director there, Victor Pereira, going to corral that one as the Boxers take one of the other soccer balls and get ready to throw it in. And doing the honors will be Kevin Correa. No goal attempt there. Cavallo went out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the Hilltoppers. Here on the near side now. That was number 2, passing it up for Durfee. Gabriel Oliveira. And trying to get it downfield is William Sobrero. Nobody was there, though. Connor Riley, the only one now back there. He's been out there almost the whole game, Connor Riley has. He's working hard, as they say. And that went out of play. That should be Durfee ball. Now it's out of play. It sure looked like it was about 3 seconds before that. Nothing was said. No whistles blown. So play continued. And it'll be a goal kick. Under 2 minutes to play on the game clock, plus the extra time that we'll have to make up. The stoppage time. And that's going to go out of play. Carvalho cannot keep it in. It might have been tipped, though, by one of the Hilltoppers, because it looks like it's going to be Kevin Correa throwing it in. It is. So Durfee got a toe in there. Good defense by the Hilltoppers. They get it back. Can't clear it, though, out of their own end. That was Junior Perez defending Carvalho, and he's right back in there again. Not afraid to get physical, I'll tell you. Seen him going at it one-on-one with Carvalho, and now a free kick for Carvalho after the push, and that's what'll happen. Gets right by, and it'll head into the shadows, into the corner. Kept in play. Ooh, going tumbling down there was Correa, Hironildo Correa. It'll be a kick from the goal for Durfee. And Correa going back down. Looks like he is hurting. Didn't like the call either, that he got tripped up, went tumbling down. The call didn't go his way. So Durfee with the kick. Correa will come out, and it will be Cristiano Martins back in for the last couple minutes. Martins walking off very slowly. A little bit of a limp. Now he'll jog it out. Durfee ready to kick from the end zone. Or from the goal, I should say. And Brockton is going to try to turn it around. Good pressure from the Hilltoppers. Going down was Sobrero. Stayed in play. Taylor Gonzalez trying to redirect it. Brockton's going to take it right back up. That's Carvalho again. And that goes out of play. Off the benches. Tangled up there in the middle, a sea of Hilltoppers, one boxer, and the boxer gets the call. Elvis Mendez going down. Well, it looked like there was going to be a stoppage. The official had signaled. A centering pass towards the goal. Michael Cruz has to repounce on it. William Sobrero took a shot on goal there. Michael Cruz now the goalie, sending it out. Gonzalez headbutts it. Brockton sends it right back into Durfee territory. We continue to play at midfield in the circle. Now heading out of the circle. Into the shadows. Just about the end of this game. The official with the whistle in his mouth. And that will do it right there, folks. So the Durfee Hilltoppers lose game 2 of the year, their first home game of the year, and their first Big 3 contest of the year. by a score of 3-1 as the Brockton Boxers come to Durfee and take the win. They improve to 3-0, so they're off to the fast start for Durfee. They need to hope that some of their players can heal up. The injury bug has bitten Durfee pretty bad here in the early goings. The teams will shake hands, exchange congratulations to the Boxers. It's a pretty solid game until it was 3-1. It was pretty close. But Brockton comes out on top in this one. So that'll about do it from Durfee High School's Mac Aldridge Field. Brandon Arrayes, Brooke Tevz on camera. Great job this afternoon. As always, Evan Massoud. We'll see you again soon.